Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Jesse?
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been met by transmitting the notice of the regular meeting to the Commissioner's official newspaper on February 3rd, 2022, posting the notice where required and filing a copy of the notice with the Commission Clerk. The Deal Lake Commission meeting will be audio and videotaped and will be shown on APTV, Optimum 77, and throughout most of Monmouth County on FiOS 28. Allenhurst?
Here.
Asbury Park?
Yes.
Deal? Interlaken? I saw Carol. Luck Arbor?
Here.
Hi, Margot. Neptune?
Hi.
And Ocean?
Here.
Okay. Tonight, we have a resolution to approve the minutes of the regular meeting from July 21st, 2022. Somebody please offer.
I'll offer Asbury Park.
Thank you. Second. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of the Deal Lake Commission held on July 21st, 2022, being the same, are hereby approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Not nays. Okay. Bruce, did you get the treasurer's report, the bills list?
Yes, I did. Okay, the balance on hand at the beginning of the month was $178,142. We had receipts and interest of $2,800.19. There were disbursements of $9,552.32, exclusive of grant disbursements. We also had grant disbursements in the amount of $2,011, and therefore the total disbursements were $11,526.52. Our total on deposit after receipts and disbursements at the end of the month was $169,446.52.
Do I have the right, did I send out the right bills list? I have a different.
Says August.
one. Does it have 1/6?
I'm looking at the July one.
Oh, maybe I sent you the wrong one.
Okay.
Okay.
Mine
Did I send
says
the wrong one out?
the one I
Does
received.
everyone have the same numbers? I'm
Yes, see, I
sorry.
got the August
Ah,
18th
You
one.
know what? I have the August one also. I read the July one. It's also attached. My apologies and my mistake.
I'm sorry,
I'll go
I'm going,
again.
uh-oh. Okay.
Total on deposit, total on deposit at the beginning of the month was $169,446.52. We had total receipts of $11,148.61. We had total disbursements of $4,004.31. And the total on deposit at the end of the month was $176,590.82. I'm not
Thank
sure
you.
why the other one was attached,
Yeah,
but anyway.
Maybe
that's-
I accidentally sent everything. Sorry.
Okay.
Someone offer the bills to be paid, the treasurer's report and bills to be paid?
I'll
Second?
offer.
Oh, you'll offer, second?
Ocean, second.
Okay. Allenhurst?
Yes.
Asbury Park?
Yes.
Interlaken?
Yes.
Luck Arbor?
Yes.
Ocean?
Yes.
Okay.
What about Neptune?
Oh, you're there. Hi, I didn't see you. Sorry. Hi, Eric.
Yeah. Hi. Yes,
Hey, Eric.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Don.
Okay, we're gonna go right into
319.
old business, our 319 grant from 2017. And we're on the last phase. We're getting down to the Wesley Lake Rain Gardens and also a tree box or two in Deal Lake. So Peter, I'm gonna let you.
thank you. Little sad after having like $1.5 million to play with over the last year and a half or so. We did a great job getting all the work done. And I have to compliment my project engineer, Dave Howarth, because his cost estimate was within 2.5% of the low bidder's bid amount for the rain garden. As you recall, the rain garden, it's plural, Pilgrim Pathway and the lakefront in Ocean Grove, and the first fire lane west of Pilgrim Pathway and the lakefront in Ocean Grove. Both locations have uncontrolled stormwater flow and drainage discharge into the lake. This will bisect that discharge, create an impoundment area planted with a beautiful wetland planting field that Steve and Princeton Hydro both presented to us. And thanks to Jack for that as well. And then bids were put out. We had 4 bids taken and 2 received. Precise and Down to Earth were the 2 contractors we received bids from. We're all familiar with Precise, and our office works with Down to Earth all the time. They both do great work. Precise's bid was low, $136,600. We had budgeted $140,000, so it's right in line with our funding amount. And we also had an alternate bid, not knowing what the cost was going to be, for 3 tree well bioretention system installations. Those 3 were bid at a unit price of $30,240 each, for a total of $90,720. All 3 results in too much money for the amount of funding available. And my recommendation to the commission is that we authorize a contract to the low bidder, Precise Construction, in the amount of the base bid, $136,600, plus 1 of the tree well bioretention system units. That would give us the ability, if funding were available, to do more than 1 if DEP allows us to do that.
Peter, question. That total, I think, is 166,600. Can we go back and modify that contract to add the other 2, if you need 1 or 2 of the others?
Yes, that's really what I just said by the last statement I made. If in fact we go through and do our budget analysis and we find that there is at equal or more than $30,000 left in the DEP contract, we would do another tree well.
Gotcha. Okay.
Where will that one go, Peter?
And to be determined, we did not identify those locations in the bid.
It's either going to be in Allenhurst or Ocean Township, one or 2 locations right now.
Thank you.
So we have a motion.
A motion
Jesse, you
to
want to do the
authorize
motion?
it- Yeah, authorize the awarded bid for the Wesley Lake Rain Gardens. Someone offer?
I'll offer Asbury Park.
Second?
Neptune.
And again, the total
Where,
contract
that's-
amount is $166,840.
whereas the Deal Lake Commission hereby awards a contract for the Wesley Lake Rain Gardens to Precise Construction, Inc., Freehold, New Jersey, at a cost not to exceed $166,840. Asbury Park,
Yes.
Allenhurst,
Yes.
Interlaken,
Yes.
Lock Arbor,
Yes.
Neptune,
Yes.
and Ocean.
Yes. Thanks a lot, Peter. You guys did a great job.
Thank
And,
you.
Yeah.
Thanks
I
to
know
Steve
it was a
and
lot of
Jack.
meetings,
Hydro.
a lot of meetings. And we're going to get, in terms of logistics of this, how we're going to work it. Who notifies Precise officially? And
We
I'll
do.
send out the contract.
Jesse and our office will work together to get the contract documents prepared and out.
okay,
They'll be signed by Tony from Precise and returned, and we'll schedule a pre-construction meeting. Just so everyone knows, no work will begin before Labor Day. Probably
Right.
will start more than a week after Labor Day. We've been coordinating with Ocean Grove. The 2 remaining administrative items are a stormwater management maintenance manual that Ocean Grove asked for. Don and I went to a meeting with Gail Rosewater at Ocean Grove. And I met subsequently myself, and they were a lot more subdued in the second meeting. Stormwater maintenance manual is just who's responsible for maintenance and care. And Don and I spoke of working that into our biannual cleanup. So that'll work. They want to be sure there's no mistaking the fact that they own the property and nothing that we do to put improvements on their property constitutes a loss of property for them. I think they have bad experiences in the past. The second thing they want is some form of agreement between the Camp Meeting Association, the Wesley Lake Commission, and the Deal Lake Commission. And I worked something up that I did with the County of Monmouth and Fletcher Lake at a time in the past. And I'll run that by Hunt and run it by Don, and we'll give it to Ocean Grove, see if it's okay. And then we'll be ready to go mid-September.
Okay, thanks. And progress payments, I assume, are we going to be asking for progress payments?
I
Or
put
advance, sorry,
very-
advance payments, I pay advance payments.
I put very specific wording in the bid documents this time. Thank you, Jesse. We talked about it. It was disturbing last time only because it was a burden on the contractor, but we told them, and it's the same contractor from the MTD project. Yes, we'll try to do advance payments as much as allowed by DEP.
Okay, got you. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
I
you
think
all.
that's any other
Great project.
questions on?
This is
on
actually another project, Don. We should tell everyone now. I would think it'd be a great project to get environmental commissions out to look at while we're doing it, and to get students out to look at while we're doing it.
Right,
A lot of this we're doing for education, and we're doing it in September. School's back. We'll get the kids from Asbury Park out there, and they'll absolutely love it.
okay, that's awesome. Awesome.
I guess most of you have seen the floating wetlands. I was there the other day taking some photos of them. They're really beautiful.
They look awesome for the past 2 weeks. I've been by them almost every day.
So, yeah, they look great. And the ducks like them too.
We just got a text, thank you from Wesley Lake, by the way, just want to mention that, so.
Gail is great.
Thank you,
and
Gail.
Be very helpful in working with us, just to maintain and manage it, nothing more than that.
Okay. So, next topic, 319 grant with the NJIT. Believe it or not, sometime tomorrow, and I'm not sure if I got an answer on this yet, but
Between 9 and
NJIT.
10. Between
What's
9
that?
and 10.
Oh, it's 9 and 10? Okay.
Yep.
So you want to see what's going on with NJIT, stop it, around between 9 and 10 at the boat ramp. And you'll see the algae eating machine going into the lake.
Oh.
It's going to be the first run, I believe. Did you get any other feedback on that, Steve? I didn't read it yet.
No, they just said they'd be launching sometime between 9 and 10. So I'm going to try to get down there, around then.
Okay,
It's probably not going to be real. I mean, it'll be interesting to see the barge itself, the boat itself. Everything else that will be happening will be under the water. I mean, they use a fine bubble patch to basically raise up and concentrate whatever algae is in the water. But it'll be interesting just to see all the apparatus while it's, when they launch, and, get a description from them as to how it works and the amount of material they think they can remove. I'm curious about what they do with the, how they process the material and to get it out without disturbing toxins and releasing toxins into the water. So we'll go over that with them tomorrow.
gotcha, thanks.
Will that boat be in the water for a while? Or just one? How long will it be there?
No, I think they're just doing like a
It's hours, I should
pass.
say.
Yeah, so they'll probably be there like maybe a portion of the day. This is really experimental, so I guess they want to see, Eric, just how maneuverable it is going to be in the lake, and then just, I guess get a sense of how this, how it's going to work.
Don, will you be there tomorrow to take photos or video?
I will be.
You will? All right. I'll try to get down there, but if I don't, you'll take some photos.
We'll definitely be taking videos for sure.
Okay, great.
Okay,
I was between 9 and 10 tomorrow.
9 and 10, yeah,
Yeah,
probably,
yeah.
I'm guessing closer to 10, and it's
Yeah.
going to be there a while, so that's just the launch time, I believe. Okay, next, Nobility Crest, no updates on that. There is going to be updates on that construction project going on in Sandals sometime in September. I don't have the exact dates, but it's going to be an in-person meeting for I think it's the planning board for Ocean or zoning board, I'm not 100% sure, but that's going to be in the town hall. That's the construction on 66 between Nobility Crest and Cedar Village. So that's a big impact on the lake if they actually do it, but it's a variance, so I guess it's Board of Adjustment, I guess. Okay,
Hunt, I have a question about that, the Nobility Crest incident.
sure.
Is there a statute of limitations? I mean, there must be, right, as far as proceeding against them legally? I'm not saying that we're doing that. I just want to know because it's,
Hunt, do you have an answer for that?
Yes, there is. 5 years.
and where are we with this? With
4
that,
years.
4 years. Okay.
Hunt?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it might be 4 years from the day. I don't think it's 4 years, by the way.
Since,
But anyway, either way, I mean, I don't expect the DLA Commission suing anybody. I don't expect that. I expect us to be working with them on a long-term solution. And we have a very good working relationship with them based on the meeting Hunt set up with them. So, and we'll go from there. Okay, let me go Shoreline Protection. Jeannie's gonna be, I think, Jeannie, you had volunteered to make that phone call, right? Schedule the meeting with the DEP.
yeah, I'll do that with the same enforcement people. And we want to do it with you, Don, and Steve, right?
Correct. Yeah,
And myself. We'll get together, work out an agenda first. I mean, well, first set up a date with them, then we'll get together, get an agenda, send it to them. But you know, I'll do it. I'm going to be away for a week, so I'll start
Okay.
working on that when I get back.
I had some feedback on some of those issues we had on some of the other properties on the lake. One, they didn't carry it forward because they considered it repair of a bulkheading. And the other one is still in litigation with the state, and they're appealing it because there's something about flood hazard. They're appealing. So that was the one in Asbury. So that was quite interesting. I got that feedback today. I think you got a copy of that, Jeannie, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Ship and Sniff, unfortunately, we haven't had much rain to continue that effort. So again, anybody in the public would like to volunteer at the meeting, we're looking for volunteers that are around during the day that can just run out at a moment's notice and take some samples. And that's going to be coordinated, a couple of days ahead of time based on rain schedules and things like that. But we're looking for half an inch or more rain to do our sampling. And at least for the next couple of weeks, we're hoping to get the samples done. So
How many sites, Don, how many sites are there that you need volunteers?
I believe there's about 8 sites.
Wait, that's a lot of people on shore.
No, it's not that much because you can do multiple sites. So
Oh, okay.
you're talking 4 to 6 people would be fine. Yep. Okay, because you go in pairs. You want to go in pairs just in case somebody falls in a lake, you can pull them out, right? So, okay, or call 911, either one. Carp remediation. We had that permit yet, Steve? Or
You have to sign it.
Yeah, you have to sign it, and
Oh.
then I need the dimensions for the net.
oh,
So
I
there's-
guess. Oh, okay.
There's 2 separate documents. One is the permit application, and the other one is a short narrative that
Sure.
is submitted with that. So if you all you need to do is sign the permit app, and then send me the
With the check.
dimensions on the net, and then
Does
Or-
Jesse have that?
Jesse's got it as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yep.
I can
You
do
can
that
sign it.
tomorrow.
Yep.
I have the stat specifications.
And it's like a $22 permit
Yes.
application fee.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll send that. Oh, yeah. And I'll send that in as soon as I get
Okay.
that.
Thanks. The geese remediation, we started with the coating down on in Asbury Park between the Norwood Avenue and the Flume. The one treatment was made. He's gonna be doing it every couple of weeks. Also by the boat ramp and also by Bimbler. And that's where they're working. So, and I think I believe that's it for now. I know the area by the east end of the lake by the Flume was the high grasses are working great, exactly what they're supposed to do. They keep the geese away. Unfortunately, the low areas, there's 30 or 40 geese that are hanging out. So we're hoping another treatment will do the trick. So at least start it takes, he's already told us it's going to take a couple treatments. So that'll happen in the next couple of weeks. You'll see a guy in a lawn, looks like a lawnmower. He's got a containment, a container in the back that sprays the material. So it's, I saw him work a couple, about a month ago, a month and a half ago, he put the first treatment down. Okay, any questions on that? Okay. I haven't heard anything on the restoration of the lakes. Have you, Peter? Any?
No, I haven't. Maybe I should take the opportunity to call county engineering. They typically get so busy coming into the summer and in the summer doing rehab and infrastructure projects that something like this does take a bit of a backseat. But I will call and speak to the engineering department at the county.
Okay.
And he did have an associate, I think Ink Young associate involved. So maybe I'll call her and talk to her and see where we're at.
Right.
If there's something we need to do, we should talk about it and see if that's how we want to pursue.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Thank you.
Water testing on Monmouth University, by Monmouth University. I actually saw him in action down at the beach. They do it every Tuesday. And Dr. Abel was down there with some of his student, and his son actually works at Lock Harbor. And I didn't realize he paddles out to the end of the flume and takes samples out there. So that was pretty good. And they take samples around all the lakes on the Jersey Shore. So they do it on Tuesday. So that was some information I witnessed myself. So I don't know. Is there anything else, Jeannie, on that you know?
Well, they'd go twice a month, and people go according to their schedules, the testers, the other testers.
Oh, okay.
Monmouth University has its own set of testing. Remember, he spoke with us about that when he did his presentation. But the testers are out there all the time at their own
pace. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, his testing's Tuesday, I think. So,
right, and there are, I think, 10 sites. Carolyn, do you know? I think it's 10 or 11 sites around the lake that are being tested
Yeah, I've seen Dr. Adolph out there at the flume in the mornings with like a group of kids for in the school year.
Yeah,
right.
But I mean,
I don't know the exact number.
as you and I were doing as volunteers, I think they have 10 volunteer sites that people are out every other week.
Right.
They test.
Okay. Weed remediation, it went well. It's completed, and I've heard no complaints. It looks wonderful over there.
Looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take another look at it when I'm down tomorrow, but
Okay.
When I was out there the last time, it looked great. And
Yeah.
as you said, no complaints.
Yep. The new DEP grant, the stormwater management grant, I misspoke at the last meeting. We did not lose that yet. We didn't win it either.
Still up for deliberation.
It's
Believe
still
it
a
or not.
deliberation. So keep your fingers crossed. The Seaview Mall project still on the table. And they
The
just
one
haven't.
that Right, the one that we lost was basically focusing on environmental justice communities. So,
Right.
And
it's funny because the lake group we're involved with, New Jersey Public Lakes Association, it seemed like none of the lakes got monies. It was towns and sewer authorities and things like that, right, Steve?
Yeah, it was all municipal government, county government, and a couple of utilities. But yeah, none of the public lakes like Greenwood Lake, Lake of Patcong received any of the funding through that particular grant.
Right. Okay. The assessment update, everybody's paid. Thank you.
Everybody's paid.
Everybody's
Thank you,
paid.
Jeannie, for your help.
You're welcome.
Oh, nice.
That's right. And last but not least is on the old business is a tree ordinance. I sent a letter out to you guys, a secondary letter, just a couple minutes before the meeting. And I made some slight wording changes. Jeannie and I went over it, and there was a couple of words we didn't know. We didn't know. So is there any other changes to the letter that anybody has?
I thought the most important part was we can, kind of flex our muscle most with the 50-foot buffer ordinance.
Yeah.
The rest is up to maybe the shade tree commissions in each municipality.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it on the table to approve the letter, the last letter that was sent with minor modifications to some wording. And the motion would be that, I'll sign the letter for everyone, our names will be on it. And then the
And I'll mail
appropriate, the mailings will be whatever your choice is, whether you want it mailed or hand carried, it's up to the commissioner of the town. So however you want it, just email Jesse and I, and we'll make sure it gets to the appropriate person that you ask us to send it to. Okay? So that's the motion.
I'm just going to suggest for those that want it mailed, I'm going to do this, have it sent to the city manager.
Well, I'm going to ask you to email me and put that in
I
writing.
know, I'm just saying,
Okay.
with
So, I'm looking for, Jenny, I want to get it on the table first. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Off we
Okay.
go.
Yeah, so I was just saying, if you're sending it to mayor and council or whatever the arrangement is in your town, I would send it to the city manager and ask the city manager to distribute it to the mayor and council. That
Okay.
just makes sense to me. It's just a suggestion.
Thanks. And thanks, Jeannie and Bruce, for all your work on that. And I learned some new words, some words I didn't know, Bruce. I kind of figured out, so.
Well, like
But it was all
what
good.
words?
Responsible for the dearth of education.
That's right. Okay, new business, boating safety, Monmouth Sheriff. I mean, Sheriff Golden was wonderful. I sent him a little email 2 weeks ago and asked him for a little help on the lake. And he jumped right on it, gave me a call and said, how can I help you? So we gave him some basic information on boating safety. And within 2 days, his folks made up a trifold, beautiful trifold. And the funny part was when they used our pictures from our website and Facebook, and they put a picture of the floating wetlands in Sunset Lake. So I got a big tickle on that one. But we corrected that and got the right picture, but it was, they did a great job on it. And their staff was floating around the lake. I know they were here on Saturday. I'm not sure about Sunday. Did anybody see them on the lake at any time?
No, I
No.
didn't.
Hey, Don, what brought that on that you needed to get in touch with the sheriff?
Well, we've been having issues with people speeding and boating safety in terms of licenses. I wanted to make sure that folks are doing the right thing. And we had some jet skiers just zipping around, and I had a bunch of complaints a while back. And I talked to the guys. They did a tour, about a 2-hour tour when I saw them, and they hadn't seen any violations. But they were there more for kissing the babies, handing out the brochure, information, telling people what they should be doing on the lake. But most of it, they saw kayaks and stand-up paddleboards and canoes. They weren't seeing any motorboat. So I'll ask the sheriff to come back again, different times of the day, maybe like later in the day when there's more boat traffic. But it was nice that I asked the guy, I said, a big lake, right? And they said, yeah. It's they had a 9-horse engine on their sheriff's boat. It was basically a John boat that they ran around the lake. I think they went around twice. So
How do you like that?
yeah, it was a nice effort, and we got a little publicity out of it with the press. And yeah, we haven't had state police, marine police on the lake for eons. I can't remember the last time. So the sheriff is willing to do it and put some officers out there. I thought it was wonderful. I was a little disappointed they didn't have their hats on. I thought they had hats on, but anyway, they were nice. They were great guys, young guys, and really enjoyed it. So I think they'll be coming back.
Since we kind of went right to new business, but under old business, I just wanted to talk about during our last meeting where we heard from residents about the litter and the monofilament being left where the anglers are fishing by the flume. So I reached out to the Asbury Park mayor and the Asbury Park Department of Public Works, and the Asbury Park Police are going to be making more frequent patrols of that area. And the Department of Public Works has said they will pour a concrete slab to attach a trash and recycling bin there, so that when I guess, Don, you're going to be working with the Boy Scouts, you said, to create some trash bins, those monofilament tubes at some point.
That was a discussion. I gave that to a couple of kids, so I don't know where that's at. It's up to the
Okay.
kids.
All right. Well, one of the things I was talking with Rob, emailing with Rob Jazarowski. I know I'm saying his name wrong. But anyway, he had said, oh, it'd be a good thing to have trash bins there because if and when you do put the tubes there, people might start throwing their trash in there if there's no trash bins. So anyway, the DPW is going to do that, and also he suggested it would be a good idea to have some kind of lettering on the recycling tube so people know that it's not for trash, to tell them that fishing line and not litter goes in those bins. And I know Margot, we emailed, and Margot, did you want to say something about what Lock Harbor is doing in that section?
We went over, the town administrator went over, there were only 3 and they were jute. And they didn't know, there were no hooks. We cleaned up all the garbage. And there were over 100 cigarette butts right there. But we just cleaned it up. And, you know, that's all we can offer. You can't control people's actions that much. And we'll just, you know, check on it sometimes.
I have a comment because and Jeannie, you stole my commissioner's last word for me. I was going to comment on this, but so I'll pass when it comes to my turn. But
We'll
I thought
forget
that
by
was
the time you're ready to go.
I thought that was a really great suggestion about the filament collection tube. And that's something I would certainly be willing to work on. But I've also noticed that there's a couple locations in Lock Harbor where people have been screwing L brackets into the bulkhead to attach line to. So I don't know if that's a Lock Harbor removal issue.
Could you tell me where they are? I don't know where they are.
I can, Margot. Yep. It's right where it's right at the beginning, kind of up towards Main Street, right at that first spot where most of the fishermen usually are.
And could I undo it with a screwdriver?
Yes, or I could do it.
Okay. I mean, we have Department of Public Works, but it doesn't work like that for us because they're only coming in for a brief moment, maybe once a week, twice a week. They did clean out all the garbage cans. That was going to be my last moment, so I wouldn't have to speak either. There was a problem with our garbage cans being full of spiders, which I happen to love spiders, so it wouldn't have been a problem to me. No one knew this, but that's why they weren't emptying them, because they were full of spiders. So Marilyn apparently had to call a spider exterminator, and now the person who was afraid to clean the garbage can will clean them because they are okay now. But they are working on that, which was part of the problem, I guess, with maybe what that person saw with garbage on the shore of Lock Harbor. But
I'll volunteer to unscrew the L brackets from the bulkhead.
Okay. Do you know how many there were? I mean,
there's like under 4.
Okay. And then also I always have my family go, like when it's the lake cleanup and stuff like that. So I mean, we do we do have our system of going up and down it, but I mean, it's my family. So and I mean, I'm sure there's other good Samaritans who will do it too.
I applaud you all for that. I pick up along Lock Harbor and Asbury myself, so I know how much trash could be accumulating there, and it blows around from everywhere. It's just not people.
Yeah, and the crows take it out of the garbage.
Correct.
By Sunday the cans are full and they attack it and spread it everywhere. Yes.
Well, it's very hard because that was one of the things I noticed with the 100 over. I can't from Clean Ocean Action. I can't help myself from counting things, and we do get on certain days, we get so many visitors in Lock Harbor. It's just not something that, can easily be controlled some days. And we do, but we always seem to catch up. So.
Thank you.
And if I would also under old business, you'll remember that I've been trying to get that Asbury Avenue, Oxonia Bridge area taken care of. The highway department paved the road, if you remember the story, over that section of the bridge. They left the old storm drains open, and then that inlet under the bridge had become filled with everything, debris, sediment, plastic bottles. Anyway, the curbing had been broken too as a result, and there's quite a bit of erosion that's impacting the bank by that bridge. So the water was not flowing under the bridge. And then at the end of last year, the highway department, Monmouth County, began to do some rehab measures after I met with the Monmouth County, I think he's the head of engineering. But anyway, he's been very cooperative. They have a long list of projects, but they removed the debris and accumulated sediment so that the water began to flow under that bridge, but they'd still not repaired the curbs or put the grates over the old drain. So Mr. Walsh, the engineer, called me this week and said that they have reevaluated the rehab measures at that site. They completed the survey and updated the survey, and they decided to close off the open areas where most of the debris from the road gets washed into the waterway. And they'll be redirecting the roadway runoff toward the storm drains, and will repair the curbing and will add grates onto the old drains. The funds have now been designated for that site, and that site's been added to their list of projects. He said there's a long list of projects, so he couldn't give me a date as to when, but they are going to go back and remove the debris that's accumulated there again since the first time. So anyway, he'll let me know, and I'll let you know when that's going to happen.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's, thank you for that, Jeannie. That was a good update on the whole business. Let's go back to we got number 2. We got a call from an email from a lake resident about pallets being put in the lake as a dock. And that was over in Ocean Township, and the DEP or our Department of Public Works took care of, removed the docks. There were some additional docks that were along the shoreline too. Not docks, but pallets thrown in the water so people can fish off them. And they were removed, I believe. So we do have some issues over in Winnemassa that we have to look into. And one suggestion we made to the Deal Lake Watershed Alliance was maybe that could make that another location where we could put another public dock in. So they're looking into that. Just wanted to mention that. Osprey nests. I don't know if you knew, but last month sometime JCP&L removed osprey nest right along the. Technically, it's Interlake, and right in front of Bar and Company, there was 2 nests, one by the pumping station, one in front of the Bar and Company, and it upset a lot of people. There was a lot of emails back and forth. We contacted DEP. They said that JCP&L confirmed that they were abandoned nests. The public, including me, thought they were still very active.
They were.
So we still have conversations going on with the DEP on that. I'm not sure where that's going to lead, but it was 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks after they put the debris in the lake from that storm sewer line, or the electric chamber that was in Lock Harbor. So anyway, JCPL has been very interesting dealing with the lake issues, to say the least. I thought it could have been legal. They could have been authorized to do it, but it just seemed heartless because the birds were going to be flying south in a month or so, and it would have been easy to take them down. They'd been there for years, and why weren't they taken down before? So I got a whole bunch of questions, and a lot of people have questions. So
Why did they take them down?
they said, it was an electrical issue. It could have been they could catch on fire and destroy the electrical lines.
They've installed metal over the top of them to make it inhospitable for them to recreate those nests.
No way.
Yes.
And the birds are now recreating their nest on top of JCP&L's old building on the antenna. So
Oh, nice.
they're still in the area. They haven't
Good
left.
for Ted.
They're adapting. They're adapting to the environment. So
Adapting.
anyway, I just thought they have every right to remove those, but I thought they could have waited and done it a little bit with more heart. That's what I thought. Anyway, I'll leave it there. The JCP&L violation, they did get a notice of violation, I can tell you, and they're supposedly responding to that, and I guess that's all I can say on that subject right now. That was the pouring of the sedimentation, the so-called stormwater from their vault into the lake in Lock Harbor. But that DEP did a write-up, and they sent notice violation JCPL, and they have it's kind of a procedure now. They have to respond back to the DEP. So we'll hopefully have more of that next month.
Don, you probably maybe you don't know this, but do they require remediation in cases like that? I mean, is there?
We're far from that.
Uh-huh.
We're far from. The answer is
Yeah.
it could.
It could, okay.
The website, is Ken on there? Ken has made a proposal to increase our security. We got some problems with security, people trying to get into our website. And there's a slight increase in the fees. Ken, can you go over that, please?
Yeah, basically, there is a plugin on the website that basically lets you know about attempts to log in. And I've noticed over the past few months, there have been a lot of hits, even to the point where sometimes it just will flatten out because there have been more hits than it can measure. So one of the things that our website provider GoDaddy offers is a security package. Basically would upgrade our site to HTTPS secure protocol rather than the non-secure protocol that we have now. Let me see if I have, let's see if I have this thing here. I think I may. All right, actually, this should probably be it right here. Okay, so what you're seeing now is GoDaddy site, and this is their website security page. I'm basically looking at the standard option that they have here. I mean, we don't need all this other stuff that they have in the higher price one, but we do get a firewall that makes it harder for hackers, that prevents hackers, or I would just say just makes it harder for them to get in. Protects one website. Malware scanning is important these days, and I think it's probably just it's a good thing to have.
Okay.
I mean, I know that when I see a website and I go on a website and my browser says this website is insecure, I automatically kind of get not the best feeling about it. So
I'd like to move for the improvement to security of $5 and what was that?
I think it
$5.34.
was $5.34, and I think it increases in August 2024 to what was it? Actually, here it is. Okay, it looks like it increases August 2024 for $7.99 a month, right?
Well, I guess we could deal with that then, but I mean, right now, if
Yeah.
we should sign up for that. It's a two-year obligation, right?
Right. Yeah, I think you get a 33% discount if you pay it up front.
Right. So the proposal is for $127.98 today. Well, it'll be next month, right? To pay it.
Right.
We can wait. Can we wait till you'll pay it now, right, Ken? Is that how it works?
Yeah. I mean, once you guys sign off on it, I'll get that moving.
Okay. So it's
So-
basically it's $127.98 for improved security on our website for a 2-year period. That's the motion.
I'll make an offer as
Okay.
I'll second.
Second. All those in
Allenhurst?
favor?
Wait, when
Oh,
it's
you want
money,
to
we
vote?
have
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Allenhurst,
Aye.
Asbury Park,
yes,
Interlake,
Yes.
Loch Arbor,
Yes.
Neptune,
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes. Thanks, Ken. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken.
Any other new business that I missed?
well, I don't know if I want to say it as use my minute or talk about it now, but it is new business.
Go ahead, talk about it now.
Okay, so I've been doing some research on having the Deal Lake Watershed Alliance and the Deal Lake Commission in a collaborative public education effort to offer a rain barrel workshop for our community where participants would build a rain barrel for their home, business, etc. So I'm sure everybody knows this, but for those that don't, rain barrels capture water from a roof and hold it for later use, such as on lawns, gardens, or indoor plants, and it collects roof runoff in rain barrels, reduces the amount of water that flows from your property into storm drains. So I've been communicating with Laura McBride from DLWA. She's in favor of the project. And I've also been in touch with Dr. Stephen Yurko. He's a scientist at Rutgers who's an agent for the NJ Agricultural Experiment Station Extension Center, and he conducts rain barrel workshops for the public, and he will do a workshop in our community. He's been very responsive and helpful. I found a vendor in Berkeley in a marina, and they are willing to donate 20 barrels to us for our workshop. This could be our one we offer every other year or whatever, or just one, so that the cost to the participants will be minimal. Since they're donating the barrels, it would cost $40 for everything, and everybody will have a rain barrel to take home. Up to 20 participants for that. Seems manageable to me. I asked the DLWA to help with the cost of renting a U-Haul to get the barrels up here from Berkeley, and I'll be speaking with Asbury Park about using the city yard for the time between we get the barrels here and the day of the workshop. But right now, the Asbury Park boat ramp parking lot seems like a good spot to me, but I'm open to any ideas that you have. And we don't need to have electricity on site because the tools are battery operated that Dr. Serco brings, but it would be helpful to have a way to charge them if the batteries run down. It shouldn't cost the DLC anything except your approval and your help. If the DLWA picks up the cost of the U-Haul. In any case, I'd like to hear any thoughts that the commissioners or consultants too. Steve, I know you have a rain garden and have done rain garden projects. I mean, not rain garden, rain barrels, sorry.
I have a rain barrel too.
Yeah, I know you have a rain barrel. And once I have a definitive response from the DLWA, I'll ask for your approval to go ahead with promoting this using our media sites within the lake community. Anybody have any thoughts?
I have a thought. I'm interested in that.
Great.
So what happens when we have more than 20 interested parties?
We have to cut it off at 20. It'll be first come, first serve. That's the only way I can see to fairly do it.
Okay.
So we'd use the website for them to contact us the way we've done with other volunteer things that I've sent out to the community. And once I have 20 people, I'll just have to say sorry to the others. And
Or maybe there could be an option to purchase additional rain barrels and spread the costs.
Yep.
So you could get more people participating.
Yeah. The man that will do the workshop said 20 is kind of his limit.
Okay.
So, it might be good if somebody wants to get a rain barrel and do it themselves. There's lots of information online about how to make rain barrels. So if we could fit more than 20 in the truck,
Okay. Maybe it's
an idea though.
Maybe it's an event. Maybe it's an event that could be like videotaped and put on the website so people could do it on their own.
Yeah, good idea.
If they're not able to get in. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeannie, I mentioned to you the watershed Institute in Trenton area, Flemington. I'm not sure exactly the town, but they have a lot of resources there for rain barrels, and I think they have videos. I think they do have videos on how to do it. So
yeah,
that's another source.
I got a lot of resources from the gentleman who would be doing the rain barrel workshop too. Don, thanks. I know, I love that site. I go there all the time. And
who would be the lead? Would we be the lead, or?
I'm kind of taking it on, but I've asked Laura to, spread the word, and we'll need volunteers. You're going to need people to move those barrels around, and that kind of stuff. But in terms of,
you're going to have to hopefully they have some people that can do that. So
yeah. So, but I just like your input, what you think. I assume you'd be on board with us promoting something like that and being the co-sponsors.
Do we have a motion on the table?
For what?
To approve a public education project on rain barrels?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Offer.
Second.
Neptune, second.
Thank
Okay.
you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay,
Thank you.
we're moving on here. Okay. Commissioners, last word, which is something we instituted a couple years ago. And any final thoughts? I'm going to start with Margot. I'm looking on the top of the screen here.
Oh, hi. Well, I feel like I kind of said mine with, we went around and we didn't find, I wanted to just emphasize, we didn't find filament. We found only jute, which jute naturally decomposes and breaks away very easily. And we found no hooks. And the other thing that I guess I should bring to your attention is apparently there's some water leaking from the Allenhurst Department of Public Works down the driveway of that little
saw it.
office building. I don't know what to call that office building. They have like a shared driveway, and it was videotaped and sent to us. And obviously we've already contacted Allenhurst's mayor to see like if it can be, remedied. So, and it was of course going to Deal Lake, so
Okay, hey, let us know on that.
sadly. So, yes. And that's it. I think that we've had a very nice summer here and we look forward to a nice fall.
Yeah, no, it's good. The beach was beautiful today. Yep.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, on my screen I
And,
have
and lots of whales, lots of whales.
lots of whales.
Really?
And by the way, mostly clean water, except for the one day that the ocean was greener than Deal Lake. It was unbelievable.
Right.
And it wasn't the lake. It wasn't.
It was
Anyway,
terrible.
Bruce, I see Bruce on my top screen.
Yeah, so getting back to this situation with the trees that are within the 50-foot buffer, I know that across the lake right here, there's one of the landowners has marked a number of trees for removal. I think what we have to do, we had a discussion some time ago about alerting realtors about the 50-foot regulation. I don't know if we ever followed through with it. We also need to have an education campaign with these homeowners that live directly on the lake to let them know that removal of live trees from the bank is expressly prohibited by DEP regulations and hopefully by the ordinances eventually. But we need to let these people know because there's just a lot of this, especially with the newer purchasers. They come in and they have certain expectations when they buy a home on the lake of how they're going to enjoy the lake, not really paying any attention to the trees and being more concerned with the vistas they might enjoy as a consequence of removal of trees. So I think it's something that we really need to focus on, letting the people that live adjacent to the lake and have banks which are directly on the lake. They need to know that taking those trees down, unless the trees are dead and are really anathema to the health of what's going on, that they can't just remove trees arbitrarily and capriciously and without permission or appropriate permission anyway from whatever governmental authority they have to apply to get that done. But I really think it's important that we do that.
It's across the ocean, across you and Ocean Township, and I've been heavily involved with that, and it makes me sick to my stomach when I see the trees marked up, and I'm working with the town trying to protect as many as we can. It's very frustrating. It's very
But
frustrating.
if the homeowner knows,
They know. In this case, they know.
okay,
don't
well,
care.
I'm sure that there's other cases where
Yeah.
people don't know,
Right,
and those people need to be made aware. That's all I have.
And Bruce, I know what happens here on my side of the lake here. People know they pay a fine and they don't care. I don't know what's so great, why a view of this muddy lake is better than the view of a tree, but that's their aesthetic. And so that's what they do. and they have the money, they move in, it's terrible. And I agree, education is, I'm the first one to always say, attack it with education, but I mean, some people are just selfish and and stupid. I don't know what else.
Jeannie, is this your
Well-
minute? I guess this is your minute, Jeannie.
No, that's
Go
not
ahead.
my minute.
You're
But,
on,
you know-
Jeannie. Go ahead. Keep going.
If we can enjoin people from doing them somehow, I don't know, maybe that's up Hunt's alley, whether injunctions can be secured or whether the fines just need to be enhanced to make it financially unfeasible for these people to do it. I hope Steve has something, right? Because he got a nice haircut.
Well,
Right.
do you
Let me
know-
just, let's keep on rolling on this. I
Yeah.
want to keep on the minute. The tree
Okay.
thing, I'll tell you, we're going to revisit it next month again because we should have resolution or destruction of the trees by that time. And the DEP is involved. There's a case number on it. So there's not only the town authorities, but the DEP's on this particular house.
Right.
But Don, I mean, the frustrating thing is that oftentimes DEP says they won't take action until a violation has
Correct.
occurred. And by that time, you've got all these trees that have been mowed down.
Well,
And, what are
yeah.
you gonna do? You
In
know?
this case, we got lucky because they took a couple trees down while they put the dock in, their
Yeah.
dock for the aircraft carrier Nimitz. And so, they do have a case number on it. They did write it.
Yeah.
So that's a good news. Okay.
Well, what we're doing with encouraging the towns to get their ordinances underway is important,
Yeah.
I think.
We're gonna
That's
keep,
a
we're gonna
big
keep rolling here, guys. We're gonna keep rolling. Let's see. Oh, Eric. Eric Hotelli.
Well, for
We lost him.
one, I'm very glad that we got this letter thing straightened out. And what I intend on doing is going to the Neptune Township workshop and discussing a letter with the township committee members and see what they had to say about it and convey what we feel here, the Deal Lake Commission, how important the trees are to our environment.
Great. Thanks a lot. Carol?
I kind of already used my minute already, but I will add this to it, that I think that there's a lot of good stuff going on here. I think that everyone has great contributions. I'm very proud to work and volunteer on this commission. And I'd like to use my minute to just kind of remind everyone else who's listening in and who cares that we are all, we're fortunate to work with a great team of professionals, but the rest of us are volunteers and we're dedicating our time and our efforts. And there's a lot of, other things that you don't see on a monthly meeting that we all dedicate our time to. And I'm very privileged to work with everybody here and grateful for the effort that everybody puts in. And I hope that the public understands that.
Thanks.
Here.
And I just want to mention our professionals are some of the best in the country, not only the state. And we should pat ourselves on the back for having them. They're wonderful. And we're one of the best commissions, if not the best commission, lake commissions in the state, maybe some of the better ones in the country. So people are going to our website, getting information down. They're coming down and seeing what we've done on certain projects, and they're learning from us, and as we learn from other lakes. So I'm very proud of that. Okay. Time to open up to public hearing.
I didn't get my minute.
Oh, you got a lot of minutes.
No, that was all.
I thought you did when you were talking to Bruce. I gave you the minute after Bruce. You have one more. You have one more item. You can go with that.
Okay, this will be quick because we're going to talk about it next month, and that's the Goose Management. We should have the price from Nicole for the total for the 2023 season.
That's correct.
And then we can come forward to you next month about, proceeding with that as a total, treating addling the eggs in all 7 of the municipalities. And so that's just something to think about between now and then, but we'll come with the figures and then how we're going to approach it. And it would be a separate bill that would go, Don, right?
That's correct. Yep. We'll be talking about that next month. Okay. Let's open up, Jesse, let's open up for the public hearing, please.
Someone please offer to open the meeting to the public.
I'll offer Neptune.
Interlinking,
Second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, just I want to remind the public, just raise your hand, or I can't see everybody, but raise your hand if you can, and we'll get you on. And a limit of 3 minutes of discussion. Okay. Yes, Jim Vet. Jim,
Yes, can you hear me?
we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I appreciate all your efforts, and I do love the lake. I wanted to address, first of all, the Monmouth County Sheriff, and then I want to talk about this letter, and then I want to talk about the master plan. I was out here on Sunday, and I saw a sheriff's boat floating around. 2 young guys were on it, and they wound up talking to my neighbor. And I was trying to watch my granddaughter, make sure she didn't chase the geese into the lake. But my neighbor was talking to them, and he asked them why they were there. And they said, well, they were just looking around because nobody at the sheriff's department really knew the lake, and they were just sort of sent out there to familiarize themselves with it. And one of them stuck his oar. He had an oar, he had a little motor, but he also had an oar, and he was testing the depth. And he brought it up and he said, gee, we must be at low tide. And my neighbor said, who's lived there for 40 years, he said, no, you're not at low tide. This is the level of the lake, 24/7. This is as deep as it gets. They didn't know where the flume was. They didn't know where the Atlantic Ocean was. They were just having a Sunday poke around the lake. I didn't see them hand out any pamphlets to fishermen because there were no fishermen. Now, we can give ourselves credit for these feel-good moments, but I want to get back to the master plan and the long-term life of this lake. We have spent now 5 months on this letter. The letter should come from Jesse, from the clerk, go directly to the councils and the mayors. Everybody on this council commission can walk and chew gum at the same time. There's nothing to prevent you from going to a council meeting and urging that a township that doesn't have an ordinance adopt one. But the letter should go out on our letterhead from the clerk to these officials, because these officials make up the Deal Lake Commission. Period. There's no reason to ship this thing off and make a burden on individual commission members and risk them offending somebody who wasn't approached by a commissioner to talk about this thing. I'm concerned that we are completely engaging ourselves with feel-good moments. The Asbury High School students, I saw them out there when the MTD was put in. It's a happy moment, gets in the paper, it's there. But we don't know whether any of these rain barrels or swales or whatever are improving the lake long-term, making no difference whatsoever, or making it worse because we don't have any baselines. And I agree with the chair. We have wonderful professionals. Let's put them to work. We need a baseline for depth. We need a baseline for water quality. We need a baseline for the shoreline. We need a baseline for the tree canopy, a scientific fixed baseline, not anecdotal, but a fixed baseline. So we can look back 5 years in the future, 10 years in the future, 20 years in the future, and see if this lake is in fact getting healthier or dying a slow death on our watch.
Okay,
I
Jim,
would
thank
like
you.
my
Jim,
18-month
thank you. Jackie, thank you for your comments. And we'll look into those comments and we'll get back with you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? I don't see any hands raised. I see Jeff Hine. Jeff, you want to introduce yourself?
Thanks so much, Don. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be with you all. My name is Jeff Hine. I work for Assemblywoman Paperno in Ulner. Assemblywoman Paperno was here too. If you don't mind, I'd like to step aside and let her introduce herself. If that's okay, Don?
Sure. Excellent. Yeah. Assemblywoman?
I'm not going to say she lives in the Jim Beach. What?
Assemblywoman, I think you're muted.
Why? Kim? I just asked her to unmute herself.
I raised my hand.
No, she's not unmuted.
She's,
Okay, we'll move on.
Move on.
Okay, anybody else from the public? I'm looking. I don't see any. Okay. Marty, I see Marty. Marty, you have any comments today?
Yeah, can you hear me, Don?
I can't. Go ahead, Marty.
Yeah, I tried to raise my hand, but I was not able to do it. But I would agree with everything that Jim Beach has said, Don. We've been talking a long time about the studies of the depth of Deal Lake, and there's been no factual firm data that we could put together to measure the rate of sedimentation, if you will, in the lake. So I would strongly recommend that Jim's comments to the commission be adhered to.
Okay, thank you, Marty.
Yeah.
Anyone else? And I just want to mention the depth of the lake. We do have depth charts, which are pretty accurate from boaters and from the boating companies that have gone around. If we do any dredging, we've done dredging in the front section of the lake, which is about 6, in some cases, 9 feet deep at the front from Norwood Avenue to the ocean. And we had to do a complete study on that. We paid for that depth study and the result study. So any dredging has to be done, and it's included in that effort. So I just want everybody to know that we do have depth charts from various different years and various different locations. They're available. We have that depth chart from 1941, 42, which shows the lake was much shallower than it is today. It was because it was an estuary. No comments, please. This is what we have today. So just want to mention depth studies are available on the Deal Lake website. So that's all I got. Any other folks that have not spoken yet? Okay.
Can I try again?
Who's that?
It's Assemblywoman Byrne.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Is that Kim?
It's actually Marilyn. Thank you so much. What I did, I've been listening the whole time, but that little screen at the bottom that gives you the option to mute in and out wasn't popping up. So thank you guys so much. Well, it's a pleasure to be with you tonight. Thank you. I appreciate everyone's input and commitment to town and the particularly the lake situation. We want to learn everything we can, and however we can be an asset or support system, we look forward to getting involved and just helping. So thanks so much for having us participate tonight and listen.
Okay. Thank you, Marilyn. And I think I mentioned to Jeff that we'd love to get, take you on a boat ride around the lake and show you some of the highlights and drive around to some of the things we've done over the past couple of years, which we've taken great pride in. It does help the lake. We noticed the MTDs do work and they do take out the floatables. We have proof of that. We have taken sediment gets captured there. So the things we're doing are working to fix the lake and make it better, at least minimize what's going in. And we can't necessarily take out what we got. We need your help getting funding, millions of dollars, tens of millions to do that work. So I hope to talk to you in the future on that.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks. Okay. I see no more hands or voices, so motion to close.
So moved, Neptune.
Okay.
Second,
I guess I raised the hand there, right?
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to close the meeting, to adjourn the meeting?
So moved. Allenhurst.
Second,
I'll second it.
Margo.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Bye-bye.